What's good? What's happening? What's good, bro? I'm literally here, back, watching. Why no one will host the Olympics? Why will no one do it? Why no one wants to do that shit? To be honest, my country, we're never gonna host the Olympics. New Zealand, we are too damn small.
It's September 2017, and members of the International Olympic Committee are gathered to pick the city that will host the 2024 Olympic Games. The biggest decision this group makes. They've put representatives from the two competing cities on stage for their announcement.
With the unanimous decision we took.
But everyone here already knows who won.
Please raise your hand.
Every 4 years, more than 5 million people attend the Olympics, and over 3 billion watch it on TV. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for one city to show off, and the competition has typically been fierce. 12 cities applied to host the 2004 Games before the IOC picked Athens, Greece. 10 applied for 2008, won by Beijing, China. But since then, interest has been waning. 9 cities applied for 2012.
Yeah, my country will never hold. They're not even on this map, bro.
And for
my country isn't even on the map. That's how we're never going to hold the Olympics, bro.
So the IOC did something it's never done before.
Paris 24, Los Angeles 28.
Oh, so it's going to be at LA in 28.
The IOC was so concerned that nobody would bid to host the games in 2028 that it simultaneously awarded the games 2024 to Paris and 2028 to Los Angeles.
Yeah, because the Paris, bro, this shit has not been good, bro.
The Olympics are the most prestigious sports event in the world.
Opening day of the Olympics,
why doesn't anyone want to host it anymore?
Tell me, bro. Talk to me. I would understand it now, but this was made before the even Olympics opening ceremony. That shit, they tried to be woke with it, and I did not like it. I don't think anyone liked it, bro. Think about all the religions in the world that would hate that.
They originally came up with this idea of rotating the games around to different cities back in 1896.
I like the way they had that. It's like women with beard and man with his meat hanging out, bro. Like,
Andrew Zimbalist wrote a book about the economics of hosting
nobody
sports
wants to
mega
see that.
events
Nobody
like
should be seeing that.
So it was necessary in order to spread the games internationally and get the whole world to participate and enjoy them.
As the games grew, the IOC kept this tradition, eventually developing a competition where cities would submit bids and it would vote on a winner.
Detroit, bro.
But when it opened bidding for the 1984 Games, not a single city wanted to host because the last few hadn't gone very well.
Detroit.
Local political protests had turned violent during the 1968 Games in Mexico City, and terrorists killed 11 Israeli athletes at the 72 Munich Games.
Invade the Olympic Village, taking 9 Israeli athletes hostage and killing 2 others in their room.
Both incidents showed cities that hosting could be politically risky, or even deadly. When construction problems and corruption led Montreal to spend more than 13 times their budget, they began to view it as financially risky too. So in the late 70s, the IOC was barreling towards disaster until one city offered to save them. Under one condition: Los Angeles did not want to spend a lot of money. To do that, it offered to use venues it already had instead of build new ones. The LA Coliseum, where the USC football team played, the Forum, where the Lakers played, UCLA's gymnasium and tennis center, and the athletes could just stay in the college dorm rooms. Since the IOC didn't have a choice, it said yes, and was soon glad it did.
What? What the hell? They had that in the 84, we still don't have it in 2024? That was damn 40 years ago. They had jetpacks then, but we don't have them now. What the hell's going on?
The 84 LA Games were a success in almost every
way. Nah, that's
way.
crazy, bro. I'm sorry.
But
replay the damn
jetpack. It only cost around $1 billion. Was soon glad it did.
Yeah, they fell off, bro. They had jetpacks in 84, but we don't have it 40 years later. What the hell's going on? They weren't even running in the lines.
The 84 LA Games were a success in almost every way.
Some athletic people right here.
But especially financially, it only cost around $1 billion in 2015 dollars. And LA even made a profit. This should have become the model for future Olympic host cities, but instead, it sparked the problem that is plaguing the Olympics today.
It's interesting how many of these sports and politics stories really boil down to economics. If you recall, the Premier League story is a story about a warped economic system.
What does that mean?
The NFL is so successful because it created a new economic model for sports leagues. If you haven't seen those videos yet, give them a watch. If you haven't subscribed to Search
Bro, I don't want to watch this. This isn't the damn MCU. I don't have to watch
so I've been working
one
from
video
all over the place.
or one
I've been
movie
writing
and then
scripts on
have
trains.
to watch like 3 others to understand that. Come on, bro.
I'm headed out this afternoon on a really exciting reporting trip, but I'm going to be in a hotel the whole time.
We don't
That's
care,
why I'm really excited
bro.
to work with Surfshark. Surfshark's a
Hey, get your
VPN
bag,
that's going
bro.
to keep me
Get
safe on
your
all those
money,
public Wi-Fi.
get all of that, but
And I'll take
come
you
on
back
now.
to the episode.
We don't want to see none of that, please.
LA did such a good job hosting the 1984 Olympics that it re-inspired cities to want to host again. For the 1992 games, 6 cities submitted bids, then 6 again for 96, 8 for 2000, then a whopping 11 for 2004. As more cities competed, the IOC regained leverage over them again. But instead of sticking to the LA model, it began demanding more. Between 1992 and 2020, the IOC added dozens of new sports to the games. This required more venues and housing for more athletes.
But when did they add the sport for women and men fighting? Because
as the competition intensified, cities felt increasing pressure to make their bids more attractive. The most effective way to do that was to build new venues. Sydney built 15 new venues plus housing for 10,000 athletes. Athens built 22 new venues, and Beijing built 12.
Right now, bro?
All of this construction.
No speed, but are you serious right now, bro? Shit cannot be serious. It was sunny all day, now it's raining again. It's been raining all week.
Made hosting the games really, really expensive. This chart shows how the cost of the games skyrocketed over the last 30 years,
how did it skyrocket,
reaching between $10 and $25 billion in the last decade.
I want to add one big caveat to this chart, though.
What the hell?
It only includes sports-related costs to the games. It doesn't include things like new public transportation or development projects that most all these cities spend money on for the Olympics. If we include some of those costs, these bars are actually way higher. So, for example, some estimate that Beijing spent more like $45 billion for their 2008 Summer Games. Russia spent more like 51 in 2014, and Tokyo's bill is more like 35 billion. No matter what number you use, though, all of these cities went way over their initial budget, which the bidding process incentivizes them to keep artificially low.
What they have to do is make initial statements about the intentions and the plans that are very reduced. Once the politicians say, yeah, okay, we'll go along with this, then they start adding the bells and whistles. And those can be very, very substantial.
The revenue cities generate from ticket sales, TV contracts, and sponsorships only cover a fraction of these costs, meaning these governments and really their taxpayers are on the hook for the rest.
So it doesn't
come in talk about money and taxes.
But host cities have known for decades that they'll likely lose money in the short term. Instead, many have been told that hosting the Olympics is an investment that will pay off in the future.
How does it pay off? How does it pay off? If you have Olympics in your country,
this is the IOC's webpage where they list the benefits of hosting the games. And they use this word legacy a lot. And by legacy, they mean things that will continue to benefit your city long after the Olympics are over.
Well, Paris
take sports facilities.
Didn't do that.
Beijing justified spending around $460 million on this new 90,000-seat stadium by planning for a local pro soccer team to use it after the Olympics. London did the same when it built this stadium. At first, seems like a good idea. Other legacy projects are meant to benefit even more people.
Oh, that does
Russia
make sense.
spent $8.7 billion on a new rail and highway link into Sochi for its Winter Games. And Rio de Janeiro spent $4 billion on a new subway line connecting a beach community to its Olympic Center. The most commonly touted legacy benefit is that hosting an Olympics is a great way to kickstart your city's growth.
What historically came out of the public relations with regard to the Olympics was that this was the most wonderful thing that could ever happen to a city. It puts your city on the world map, so it
does put your city
tourism,
on the map.
It will
but
increase
for
commerce,
Paris,
it will
it's
increase
not a good
foreign
thing.
investment, and
I
that
don't want to
story
go to Paris
turns
I
out
never
not
did,
to
but
be
I don't want to go
true.
there even more.
Let's start with tourism.
Because of the
The 2004 study found that after experiencing a bump in
women
tourism
with
leading up
beards,
to their
bro.
respective
Come on,
games,
I don't wanna...
Atlanta, Sydney, and Seoul all saw it fall afterwards.
Oh, no.
In his book,
like
Andrew
get
cites a
along with
1996 study on
like this.
pre-Olympic Winter Games that found that the long-term impact on tourism was between non-existent and very modest, and a 2010 study that found little evidence of any benefit to tourism of hosting an Olympic Games, and considerable evidence of damage. In other words, being on TV can backfire.
If the weather is particularly too warm, or if it's too cold, if there are security incidents, if there are bad stories about the traffic, some cities are able to maybe help their image, but other cities are hurting their image.
Many legacy infrastructure investments haven't paid off either. Russia's rail project is now considered an epic failure. And Andrew argues that while Rio's subway line benefits some residents, what the city really needed was a line serving the lower income neighborhoods inland. But that's not where the Olympics were.
The typical case
they don't care about the poor neighborhoods or poor
we need these 30 venues.
All they want
you
is
to put them in ways so the transportation is facilitated and other conveniences are allowed. And so what the city would have to do is contort itself in order to accommodate the IOC.
I don't think that's the right word.
Empty stadiums are a particularly visible sign of this mismatch. That Beijing Stadium had about 80,000 more seats than what the local soccer team could fill, so it backed out. Now, the stadium sits mostly empty, costing the city some $10 million a year to maintain. This is what's called a white elephant, and there are now dozens of them across Olympic host cities. These are venues left over from the Athens 2004 Games, and ESPN found that 12 out of 27 venues in Rio de Janeiro had not held an event a year after it hosted the Olympics. For many residents, white elephants are evidence that hosting the Games is a waste of money.
The idea that had been out there forever and ever, this is wonderful.
That was a waste of money. You see what happened to these Olympics stadiums,
more often than not, it's going to be
You see what happened to these buildings.
By 2015, city residents were ready to do something about it. The IOC had 6 cities bidding for the 2024 Games until protests forced Boston and Hamburg to drop out.
They need to do this thing for the people
fulfilled a promise to shut down its bid. Then more than 260,000 people signed a petition that led Budapest to drop out as well. It left the IOC with just 2 bidders, and once again, little leverage.
The
IOC has since passed reforms that it says reduce the cost of hosting largely by requiring hosts to use existing and temporary venues, like LA did back in 1984, and allowing them to partner with other cities. As of now, Paris doesn't look like it will blow its budget, and LA's organizing committee is saying that the city can again pull off an on-budget Olympics. But the question is, if they do, could it spark another bidding war?
I don't know if we'll go into a big cycle like we did after the 84 Games. I do think it's possible that there'll be a small turn.
But I know, I've heard about the homeless in LA, and it's
the
crazy.
IOC has also stopped taking bids and instead negotiates with cities privately. It picked Milan and Cortina, Italy over Stockholm for the 2026 Winter Games, and it gave Brisbane, Australia the 2032 Summer Games. But some are arguing for a more permanent solution.
Do they have football there?
It's perfectly plausible to think about building the Olympic Shangri-La with its 35 or 40 venues for the Summer Games, a smaller number for the Winter Games. In one place,
some believe Greece, the historical home of the Olympics, would make a good permanent host. Others have mentioned LA since it has so many venues and has done so well in the past. A permanent spot would eliminate white elephant projects, save cities from going into debt, and reduce the game's environmental footprint. But it could also reduce much of the excitement around each new Olympics.
It's not going to be easy to go to a model that makes environmental sense and economic sense. But I do think it makes sense to talk about it and put it out there as someplace that we should be heading.
Depending on how the next few Olympics go,
I think they should make just a permanent location to go for every Olympics. To just go to that place.
All right, thanks everyone so much for watching episode 15. That's also our 1-year anniversary of Search Party. We have over 380,000 subscribers. We published 15 videos.
Okay, thank you, Search Party, for the video.
Please do.
You did a lot of talking in there that I didn't even understand. All they talking about money, economics. I don't know what that means, little bro. But that's why nobody wants Olympics. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And people should be looking after their own people before the rest of the world. That only makes sense to me. But I guess to them, shit, they do not care. They do not care. Hey, that's it. That's me. I'm done. Goodbye. Thank you.